All right. I am just getting set up here so that you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm just working down on the floor. I find it to be a good spot sometimes. So let's move over here first. This is the Cleveland Cliff button. LED lit. Perfectly quiet. No sound. And I'm gonna grab this. Here you go. This is the AtGames ones, and just in all fairness, we'll take this black piece off. So you got clicky clicky, and then silent. Much more silent. So I have this breadboard just put together over here. I'll show you. Just because I was testing the LEDs for 12 volt, just hacked together a wire really quickly because I don't have a good way to hook these up, each of these. But looking at this, I'll probably end up doing something, to probably daisy chain them or something. And then up here, I've already done these two over here on this side. And so pressing these buttons, I will say this, pressing these buttons, they are so much more silent. I mean, they're always going to make noise because you're pushing on the wood. But over here on the other side, check this out. They always sound like they're being like squeaking, like there's a mouse stuck in there. But yeah, pretty easy. Like I said, I don't have the wires for the LEDs hooked up yet, but I got them working, and it's as easy as swapping them out and just remembering what color cables are where. So the blue is in the back, black is in the front. Don't think that really matters because what you're really doing by pressing the button is completing the circuit. So you got those two, you got these two up here for the nudge button. I'm not switching out these two here. I'm leaving these two alone, these two. But I will be swapping these two out here and having those as LED buttons as well. So what I'm doing right now is just real simply, I'm going and taking care of switching out the ones on the arcade control panel. So if you have the arcade control panel here, this is what I'm swapping out. This guy, put it right side up, might help. And yeah, these buttons, I mean, they're not horrible, but very clicky. And I'm going to put in reds, blues, then greens, probably. Something like that is what I thought would look good. So these will be lit up then. You'll actually be able to see the buttons when you're playing. The other thing is whenever you do this and take it out of your machine, of course, you have to take off this back plastic piece they have. You don't really need this. There's no warranty on any of this stuff, as we know with AtGames. Pretty much the warranty's nil. But, you could put this back on with 1 or 2 screws. You don't need to use all of them. And, like I do, you don't need to hook this up if you don't want to use the haptics that are built into here because they're noisy as hell. Yeah, even the arcade control panel ones are noisy. I think they're just lousy. But what we got here, anyway, is we have color-coded. So there's blue, green, yellow. And up here you have orange, red, and like maroon. I don't know. But that's what you got. So what we need to do here is we're going to need to take each of these off, swap them out for the new button, and then put them back on. We won't need the switches. We won't need any of the old pieces actually from it other than the wires. We can use the same wires, I believe. So, here's the new buttons. And he did include new ones of these. And if I wanted to, I could do rewiring because he does include these nice guys here. But we'll see if these will be small enough. So, moment of truth. I'm going to cut this apart so that I can get this out much more easily and work with it. But yeah, I just got too tired of the slow response of the AtGames buttons. They're just I'm turning off the LED thing for now, but they're just too slow. Like I feel like every time I'm pressing a button, there's no response unless I'm like, ugh, ugh, you know. But you know, to each their own. If you like the buttons, hey, you know, that's simpler for you. Probably better if you do like the buttons. All right. So the way to get these apart is you have to get this ring off the inside. Well, the way to get the ring off is you have to get the switch off. The way you get the switch off is you just pull out on one of these guys here. I'm going to try to, let me actually switch this around. Let's see if that's any better. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. All right. So what I was doing is I lifted this part here. Let's see if I can get a good angle. You lift out this, and then there's one down here on this side that it's in, but you could just tilt that and lift it up. It's using these two holes here. If you could see, let me see if I can get a good angle. Yeah, it's using this hole and this hole to hold that on. Once you get those up, look at that. Just comes right off. And then the button comes right out the front, and there's your nice shiny black button. I have about 40 of these now, if anybody wants any. Oh, God, I have so many of them. All right, so are we going to make the right buttons red ones like that? That could work. We could go right red. So I'll put it on the inside. And how you know which of these four things, because these have four, two are for the LEDs, you know, power and neutral, ground, whatever. I think it's neutral. And then you got, you know, your two for the switch. So these ones are switched, and it says in here, there's like a plus sign pointing at one of them and a minus sign pointing at another. And that's how you know which ones are for which. The plus and minus ones are for hooking up the LEDs. So I'm just going to come in, go like this, spin this down, and that way I can just hold this in for now. So there you go. Just held it in. Keep it under control like that. And that'll look, I think that looks pretty good. And you can hear the difference. Let's see. Now, this. Yeah. Yeah. A little quieter. Little bit. Just a tad. All right. So we'll make this green here because the wire's green. So there we go. There's the thought. There's the logic. And so, again, just taking this guy out. So it's not really that difficult to do these, swapping these out. I don't think anyone has any questions, of course. I'm definitely willing to answer them. But my goal tonight is not the power part, even though I part of why I bought these was the LEDs. It's to get them wired in. And then another night, I'm going to come back and I'm going to figure out my power solution of how I'm going to get the power to all of them. And I probably will do some kind of daisy chaining, you know, kind of like you saw the first one there hooked up, or use the breadboard. It would work either way. But yeah, it's DC power. I don't know how many amps I would need for, you know, the number of LEDs, but there's not that many LEDs, so it might not require that much power. All right, so we don't lose track of all these, you know, wires. I did take a picture earlier. It's on my phone, but that would be what you'd want to do is take a picture before you had done anything, and that way you'll know what goes where when you're at the end, and you're not going which button's which, you know. So definitely, you know, take a picture. You know, we all take tons of pictures and put them in the cloud, and then we don't do anything with them. So at least this way you're doing something with it. You know, you're going to hopefully use it for reference just to make sure you're setting it up right, because you want to set it up right. You definitely do. Another one out. Now we're going to go blue, because blue is better. So we'll pop the blue one in here. Grab another ring. And then we'll just spin it on. Now, is a tool you can buy. I actually have one that you can use to tighten these rings on. You can tighten these pretty much by hand too, but there is a tool you can buy if you wanted to really make sure you get them on so they don't ever come loose. And I'll tell you, they won't come loose if you do it. Let me grab that, actually. I'll show you. All right. This guy here. This guy. So it's got two sizes on it, shaped like a cylinder almost. But what you do is just put it on. If you can find the right size, this looks like it's the bigger one. And you turn it to the right. Now, the button on the front will spin, so you just kind of hold it in, is what I typically do. So I just hold the button in while twisting. So you hold the button in, and you twist it. There you go. Now they're really in there. They're not spinning or anything. And they are very quiet. That is beautiful. I'm loving it. I'm liking my idea. No, I'm liking that these exist is more of the case. But all right, so, and what's funny is I'm also finding that these are very loose. The AtGames ones that are in there, they're not at all tightened in. So I don't know if they hand tightened them. That's my guess. And that's why they're all loosey-goosey. But that would definitely tend to make them more noisy as well. So but it doesn't take long, especially if you have the power, part already figured out. I'm sure Cleveland Cliffs, which I will come back and I will put it in the description that he gave me a deal on shipping. I will come out and say that. So it's not paid promo, but because I did buy all the buttons, but he did give me free shipping, which was very nice of him, and I thank him. But I told him I want to do a video of how to get these working at ALP, because I do have my machine, I have a computer in it. I have fans in it, which, I'll show you the fans here. Check this out. Ooh. Yeah, it's like a rainbow kind of one. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. And I got one on the back. So this one pulls the air up and in. And I got one on the back. I don't have a top of the line computer in there or anything. So it's all a little bit overkill. But at the same time, I'm pretty happy that I set it up that way, because then in the future, if I do ever go in, put a more powerful PC in, then I don't have to do it later. So, but who knows? Who knows if I stick with that cabinet? I may want to go with a bigger cabinet at some point too, or go 4K, or who knows? Who knows what? The other thing you would want to do, if you have the opportunity while you have this all open and taken out, is to get the shim set and put the shims inside of this guy. This is the trackball. You definitely want to do that. That trackball, if it's anything like the ones that were on the old arcade, not old arcade machines, but the AtGames Legends Ultimate, they are very brittle, and there's parts that will break because AtGames did not do a good design on it. Too many hollow spots and too many empty spots. And there's a Sheldon's, look out there for Sheldon's shim kit. And you basically put shims in. It's these 3D printed pieces. They're really small. And you just put them in, follow the guide, and you will have given your trackball more life, and it will work much better. Because the trackball itself is not doing anything wrong. It's just that there's the support structure inside of it is really cruddy. Again, not the best design. All right. This is what we're looking like. What do you think? Huh? Yes. Look. All right. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Now we got these hooked up. We're going to go back through and we're going to pop these off of each of these and put them onto their buttons. So you I kind of wiggle these back and forth sometimes, but there's usually you can push them from this end, push them that way. So I'm going to see if that works. And you can use a screwdriver to do that. Usually. I'm just trying a few things before I force myself to go actually get the screwdriver I should go get. There we go. I'm just using a needle nose pliers here, cutting ones. So I was trying to be careful I don't squeeze it too tight. So let's see. Well, this one's going to be a bit more of a pain. Let's see. Still isn't the right tool I need for it. You get a flat head and you just kind of push it along and right off. There's also a little guy in that if you push him up, then you could just push this part right off. It'll come right off. Let's see here. There we go. Yep. Yeah, there's a little tab right in the middle here. And if you push that up, then you can put it back more. So, but I'm going to get one on here, and then we got 2 minutes of power left. Okay. So pretty much what you're going to do is take it, transfer the power over onto 2 of these guys, making sure you get the right 2 terminals, not the plus and minus. And then you're going to do the next one. And that's pretty much it. So that's the first part of me getting these buttons going. And I will do another video on the next part when I finish up the pinball and start getting the power going on this. So thanks for joining me or checking out this video. Feel free to like and subscribe. And hopefully I'll be doing more in the future here. So have a good one. Bye.